Now, so we've understood the data set. I believe this database isn't new to us, and it's something that we're familiar with. We'll be getting to see how they played out even on the other side in MySQL Workbench. So the first thing we have to understand to run this report that the management require of us is to understand even the tables that are contained in our database. And then, so seeing the customers table, we see it has the customer name and up to the credit limit. Also, the data type is actually there. We have the customer name being of the type integer, and that means it can take on numbers, counting numbers from 1 to infinity, and we have also some virtual with character limit, that character limit 50, and like that. We have credit limit to be of the type decimal, and it can take a maximum of 10 characters, and it will be rounded up to 2 decimal places, and that's what that tends to indicate. So these are the data we have in this particular database, and these are the several tables. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tables. And so with these 8 tables, will be I will be making use of these 8 tables, and boss already gave us some hints on how to go about this assignment. And the hints happen to be the last sentence in each of the assignment that was what we're looking at, and I believe the hint works. So the first we'll be doing is we have to identify the top 5 customers who have made the highest total payments. So right, let's get to work, and we'll be switching between these 2 screens. All right. Right. So I hope you can see my screen so that I won't just be sharing. Right, great. Yeah, thank you. So remember, so what I will do very quickly is to actually drop this particular database, and dropping it, just follow this. Okay, it's dropped. So I want to actually bring it up again. I think I showed how it was brought up the last time, but I mean, just for the sake of emphasis, now that we're getting to do some work. So you just come to this particular tab. That's the second tab after the menu. So you have the open a SQL script file in a new query tab. So we just open it, and now I believe you should have that database that was shared initially on maybe your download, but I have mine here, so I'll just click to open, and now I have it open. So just run it, so you have it over there. So if it is not showing, just come over here and then refresh. So we have this database here, and this can go. Okay. So, and remember, the first thing I said we want to see is, we know from the document that was shared that we have that much. So what we have here, I believe you saw when I was bringing in this database, and then we want to first inspect what we have in it. So we do a schema inspection, inspector, and then we see that we have 8 tables in this particular schema, and I think so. We know that all of those tables is there, and these are the table at the top here. So we have this table, and we can understand from it to be sure that what we were advised on the document that was shared with us was correct, because I believe we have the customer table and it ended with the products table. So we can also check those columns that are in there. So you see all the columns that are in customer table, all the columns that are in employee table, all the way to the columns that are in products table. So that's been settled. So we have, a very high level view of what our table, our database hold, but we can't see the relationship. Remember, we need to check the relationship so that by the time we are using like we're advised in the document that was shared, that like for this first exercise, we are advised to use the customer and the payment table. So we want to see what relationship exists between the customer and the payment table. Do they have a direct relationship? Are we going to go through another table to get into payment table from the customer's table, or they have a direct relationship? So that we should check out. So we'll quickly be doing that by coming up here to the database tab, and then we check on the reverse engineer. So we click on this reverse engineer, and it brings out this pop-up. All we need to do is just to do next, and it asks us for our password. Remember, there was this password that you created when um, you were setting up your MySQL workbench. Um, okay, so I believe my password is right. Good. So once you put in the right password, next, and so it's asking for which of these database or the schema you want to see um, the reverse engineer, that is the diagram therein. So I've selected the right one, and then I say execute. So it's executing. Now I say next, and then finish. So now I have this my table here. All right, so let me try and reduce this so we can see. Oh, it should not be this small. Let me go for say 60 or 70. All right, 75 would be the best option for now. Okay, 75 is good for us. Okay, so now this is the table that we have to deal with. Remember, we want to see what goes on between customer and the payment. So by clicking on just, hovering your mouse on the customer table or the payments table, so you will see what connection they both have. And good enough, we have a very good connection between them. And remember what our primary key does. And so now the primary key in customer is customer name, and we have the same customer name declared of the value what's called data type integer also in the payment type. In the payment table. So so that means, with that we are good to go. So we don't need, because there could be an instance where there won't be any direct link between customers table and payment table, and we will have to go through other tables that are related to payment table to get to payment table from customers. And that is where we'll be using our joins. So now we'll still have to use join, but we won't use multiple joins. We'll just be having just one joins. All right, so let's get to the details of what we have to do. Now that we have established that there is a relationship between the two tables, and the relationship is somewhat direct. Okay, so um, now let's bring it in again and say, so we want to see the top 5 customers who have made the highest total payments. So the top 5 customers who have made the highest top 5 payments. So highest total payment. So what do we need? So we need the customer name, and then we need the sum of their payments, right? We need a customer name because the customer name is a way of identifying the customer, and we also need the total payments that was made by each of these customer. But we don't want all the payment that is made by each of the customer. We want just the top 5 customer. We want just the top 5 customers. So let's get to work on in our workbench. So now we've established everything that we need to establish. It is just for us to write our query. Remember, our query, now that because we're trying to retrieve data, so we have to select So remember, respecting the keywords, putting them in capital letter. I mean, it gives them some. So now, like I was saying, respect the keywords, put them in capital, let them stand out. Yeah, good. That even the magic, what's it called? The way MySQL is built, it's by default. Even if we choose to disrespect them and put them small, it will still be highlighted in blue. So, but let us a bit of respect for keywords, and it makes your query very neat, and it's easy to identify keywords from those that are not keyword. In case you just want to send it to someone, maybe in a mail or something, so you want to, I mean, ensure that the person takes note that, oh, those in capital are the keywords, and I mean, just for that reason. Okay, so we do select. Remember, we need the customer name. Okay, we need the customer name, and I will do something that we did last week. We talked about the alias last week, and we'll be using the alias now again. But before I use alias, I will use the full name. All right. So all right, let me open this up. So I need the customer name. Remember, we're about to join two tables. So, and when we are joining two tables, we reference the table name while we're calling any column within the table. We reference the table name while calling any column within the table, since we're joining two tables. But if we're working on just a single table, we don't need to reference the table name. But now that we're about to join two tables, every column that we'll be referencing, we must we'll be calling, we must actually call the table name it belongs. So now um, I need customer name, and I know from the understanding of what the table holds, which I can just do a drop down here and say what are the columns in customers, and I could see that we have customer name as a column in customer. So I need customer name, but because I'm 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 joining two tables, remember the rule says call the table name before you then call um, the column you need. So, and the column I need is customer my faster, because I believe it should be giving me those names as I'm typing, but I'm very sure we're on the right track. Okay, so now we have that written. That is how, so we want to create a table that will show us the customer name, and remember the tags, and also the total payments made by each of those customer, and we need just the top 5 of them. So the next thing that we want to see is then the payment. So this the total payment. Okay, so let me go down to the payment table and then view. So I'm doing this just, I mean, to put some context into it so that we'll just be following. I won't just be writing something and we'll say, where is this coming from? All right. So um, we have the amount. So this is the amount paid now. So remember on that our table. Okay, let me quickly go back to there so that we can see something, an explanation of what the payment table is. So now you see this is the payment table, and now explaining what it is. It says amount paid. So this amount is actually the amount paid, and now we want to get the total amount or total payment. So, and that's why we'll be using the amount from the payment table. So now we write payment. Remember calling the tables that it belongs, payment, and then um, the column now, which is amount. But remember the relationship we saw the other time. What was the relationship we saw between customer and between customer and payments? Somebody in the chat box. what was the relationship between them. That is the key. That on which the relationship was established. That is the column on which the relationship was established. But what is the name of that relationship that exists between them? Good work for identifying the column on which the relationship was established. But what was the relationship that established? That exists between them. All right. So I will go to the table over on the relationship, and I want somebody to quickly drop it on the chat box what the relationship is, because that plays out in what I'm about to do next. All right. So I have finished all my hints. Oh, no, it's not many. I actually picked this. So it's actually one to many. From the musical customer to payment is one to many. It's one to many. So, and you can see just like the chicken finger. So that is what indicates many. And here, you don't have the same. If you have it, but you don't have the same here, you have just a single strike on the customer table, and that is many, one to many. So that's the relationship that exists between them. How does that influence what we're doing? Okay, it does influence what we're doing, because if it were to be one to one, that means one customer will make just one payment. So there will be just one payment record for that particular customer. But because the the relationship is one to many, that means there is a possibility of one customer making multiple payments. That is, paying for A, paying for B, paying at different times, paying on day A, paying on day B. So now that means for us to get the total payment by a particular customer, we have to sum. So there goes sum. So sum comes in because we do know that there is a possibility that we have more than one payment made by one customer. So as a result of that, we have to introduce sum. Okay, remember the earlier that we talked about the last time. Now, we want our results to be very similar to what the manager wants. He says he wants highest total payments, highest total payments. So we want uh, this column that was, that is amount in the payment table now to become in our results total payments. It should come as total payments in our result. So we'll say, so then we will now give it an alias and say this sum should come as total payments. All right. So that by the time the manager is looking at this report, he's seeing customer name. Oh, it's customer number. I brought in here customer name. Customer number will do the work, but we'll need that name, okay? So to be able to name the customer, not customer number now. All right. So we want to be able to see the customer name. Yeah, that's the format in which it was written. We want to see the customer name and as well the customer, the total payment. So we have established what we want, and that has been well explained in the select. All right. So now we've been able to point it out that this is what we need. We need a customer name, and appreciate for that. That shows we're following through. So, all right. So we continue where we stopped. So now we've been able to call all that we needed. We needed the customer name and then the total payment. Now, So where do you want this from? Okay, where do you want this from? And customers. And remember, now we need to then implement our alias as well. So how long is this particular expression? Having to write customers dot customer name, and then we did payment dot amount, where we can actually give customer an alias, and then instead of calling it in full, we use the alias to call it. Remember, everybody, I mean, save myself. Let me just give myself a very good alias now. I say John Lawa, aka JL. So JL is a better one than just having to write the full of John Lawa, except I want to collect money with it, which John Lawa would be the best to actually provide. But I mean, we're not collecting any money with it yet. So we can just say we're declaring this as C. So instead of having to write customer in full, we just say it's C. So, and this does nothing to the query that we're writing than just to say anytime we need to declare customer in full in any part, any other part, so we can actually have it as C. And this will reduce this expression here to just C dot that. And this will reduce, okay, we're here to declare this. Once we declare this, I will also replace this. Okay, so let me leave that since we have actually given customers table and alias C. So we are safe to do that. All right. So then we move on to now doing the join. So you remember we want to join the two tables because the information we're looking for is not domicile on same table. So they are contained in two separate tables. So and in SQL, how to achieve that is that we join both tables together and then we so that we can get as one. So now we join the table, then our query that will now be searching through both tables as if it is searching just one table. All right, so now we've done that for customer and now we have it as C. All right, so we can now do our join. So we want to combine the table at this time um, to ensure that they become we select. So, and this is how we order the query. So the select should come first and then from come next. So you don't um, put the one before the other. So there are some things you just know that this is the sequence, the flow. All right, so we'll be performing our joins. So I'll be adopting the inner join here. I love inner join so much. You possibly won't go wrong with inner join, except you have a specific need for right or left join, or you just use the broad join that does the further join, I call it. So, but I have a special affinity for inner join in cases like this. All right. So inner join, so table with the customer table. Okay. So inner join means. So remember, I just said something about earlier. Now I want to just give this my good man payment. My good guy payment. I want to give it an alias P, so that I can go ahead to this place and called by the as P. So payment also known as P. So now anywhere we see payments, that is the table payments, we can then have it to be P. All right. So remember, this is not table payment. This particular payment here is not table payment. It's actually an alias that I've given to amount. So you don't come here and change it to P. But if you do come here and change it to P, you won't have any error. The only thing is that the column name that will come out in our result table will just be total underscore P, which isn't what you want. So we are joining this, we're joining customer table with payment table on the relationship that they have, those key unique identifier that is common to both, which is, so it is asking us on what are you joining this. We'll now say on c.customer number equals p dot customer number. So good thing is that both both are customer number. Remember we did an example last week where the unique identifier, what the what the both were joined on. Yes, they have the same entry, but the column name is not the same. But in this case, it is called same customer number. It is called in customer. So now we've been able to join the two tables. But remember, we are asked to um, have them. We need just top 5, right? We need just top 5. But one thing we can just quickly do is say, okay, maybe we want to do some grouping, but we don't have to group because it hasn't asked us to group. But just a way of explaining what group by does. So group by will actually make the it's a place, or it's a way of not ordering. Now don't let me use ordering because we have order by. So it's actually a way of sorting your data, and so we'll be grouping by the customer number, because that is what actually unites both of them. So when we group by the customer number, then we'll do our order by. So now, so I'll introduce another keyword, which is group by, which is the customer number. Could just copy and paste. Okay, we group by the customer number, and then we order. Okay, so we order by what now? Based on the question before us, what are we going to order by? Where's the question? Let me move over to the question. This. Okay, based on this question, so what are we going to order by? So please in the chat, working on this together. Manager has given us a task to do, and now I'm stuck. I need to order this, the result, but what do I order by to have to arrive at what I need to?
You're going to order by customer. Yes, you're going to order by customer.
Wow, fantastic, but that isn't the answer. Okay, let me ask you. Sorry, I said that wasn't the answer. If I order by customer, what are we going to arrive at?
Sorry, you're answering number 3 question, right?
Number 2.
Number 2.
I mean number 1 rather.
Okay, you're supposed to order by first of all, you have to identify the top 5 customer, which I don't know if you have done that already, that made the highest sale. So you're going to order by payment data.
That's what I want to get. I want to get the top 5 by, and the top 5 is by the highest total payment made. So I want to get those customers that made the top 5 total payments. That is the highest total payment. Those 5 customers. That's the tax. So I don't know them yet. So the tax is for me to identify those top 5 customers. And what I am giving, the way to identify them. So this top 5 is by total, the highest total payment made. Yeah, you are ordering by payment. That is the sum of the amounts paid. So which we have already given an alias total payments. So we have already given it alias total payment. So that's what we'll be ordering by. And we'll be doing something again after ordering by that. And someone should please help me with that. So as to get the top five. So what are we going to do? So we are ordering by this total payments. But on this same query line, we have to do something so as to get the top five.
Okay,
Please.
you said we are going to identify the 5 customers, right? Since we have already
Yes.
grouped by the customer's number, ordered by the total payment. So for us to get the top 5 customer, I think we are going to use limit 5. This limit 5 is going to give us the result of the top 5 customer. I don't know if I
Yeah,
answered it very
perfect.
well.
You answered it very well, but Mr.
Did you
Mene
get
had
me?
actually, yeah, I got you clearly. Mr. Mene had given you the first step before the limiting of the five. So that could have been my next question. That
Yeah,
limiting.
I think the sorting comes first before you limit them to get the actual
Yes.
positions.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you very much, Mr. Mene. So now that's it. So you you order and you make it in descending order. And why did we choose descending and not ascending? We chose descending because we want it to be from the highest to the lowest. You know, we needed the highest, and we immediately we order it in descending order. That means the highest will be at the top, and followed by the second highest, followed by the third highest, and like that all the way. But because we needed the top five, so we do limit five, just like what's it called? Oye had mentioned. So now we have a full and ready to run query. So if we do run this, we should have the table that will suit the manager for question one. So I'm running TDAM. So we ran into an error. So no database was selected. Thought, oh, maybe because of our in and out. Okay, so let me refresh this. Okay, just a minute. Let me close all these drop down that are out so we can select our database at the top. All right, so this is the database we're working on now. So let's run this. Perfect. So now we have this. And the good part of it is that we can actually export this to Excel. And let me just say, where do I want to save this? Um, Let me just save it somewhere here and say, yeah. Okay, so I can go fetch it from that place. And you see what we have just done. Apart from just seeing it from your preview. Okay, I think it went into there, yeah. All right, so this is what we just have. So, and so this is what we just have. We just ran a query and the query gave us this. Okay, so and we can do all we have to do with this. We can share this with the department that needed this. Let's assume which of the units is this speaking to? I mean, the sales manager now. So the sales manager needed this now. We can just do some more work if more work needed to be done. You know, the other time we had to do this, give this what's it called, total payments from the what's it called, from the select query. So if we had left this to be just amount, you know, that is what it should be, normal, based on the column that we actually um, that contain the payment. So it should just be this. So we can come here and say we don't want it to be this, and then we do our formatting and say this is total payment. This is Excel. Excel allows us to name as we so please. So total payments, and then maybe with this we don't just want to start with small letter C, and then we just do some cleanup. And if there's anything we want to do, you want to then run this into your PowerPoint. I said PowerPoint. Yeah, it could be a PowerPoint. If you want to run this into your Power BI instead of just linking the Power BI to your what's called your workbench, so you can do all of that here. So that aside, this is the only time I will be exporting today. So just show that, oh, we can, after running our query, we can actually export and then do whatsoever we want to do. So before we move on with the report of all orders along with their respective customer contact details. How would you retrieve the data using the order and the customer table? On the first. Okay, silence means yes. So I take that as a tech in transit. Yes. Oh, my voice is breaking. All right, can everyone hear me? And is it not breaking this time around? All right, great. So now we'll move on to the second question. Um, Now, finance team needs a report of all orders along with their respective customer contact details. So they need the report of all orders and then the respective customer contact details. So then we go in, maybe there is an audit going on, and possibly the finance team just wants to see the contact person, the customer contact person, sorry, respective customers contact details. All right, not in our in-house contact, so it is the customer's contact details. So now possibly they want to reach out, maybe there is something that happened in a transaction, a particular order, they want to be sure, or they want to just send some greetings to people who have actually placed order with us in the past. We don't know what they needed the information for, but what we do know is that they needed the all the order, and also they needed the customer contact detail. All right, so what we'll do is to go, and we already have an hint, and see, this hint is good in this place. In real life, you possibly won't have an hint. You possibly won't have an hint, and I think possibly maybe the ones will be taken next week won't have any hint. So you will then yeah, excuse me. So you go in to the data yourself, and then you pull out the possible ways of getting things done. But I will still act as if we don't have any hint, and we'll go over to um, our diagram to see how we can achieve this. So basically, the first thing we should do, and we should take all the time we want to to spend on it, is to actually understand what is required to be actually pulled. What is required to be pulled. Now we've settled all orders should be pulled, and also along with the order, the customer contact details for each of those orders should come along with it. It makes our job very easy. And so we go over to our workbench, and let's assume we just want to create another script for this. Yes, so I'm creating this particular script so as for we just create one for each. So if we want to just do a recap, we can just run through it one after the other. All right, so remember the way to go is to actually check what relationship we need order and we need customers of customer. So, oh, okay, let me quickly get the diagram. Um, just a minute. All right. So we have, so we need customer contact. So, I mean, if we need customer contact, the first thing your mind wants to go to is the customer table. All right, is the customer table. So we go to the customer table. Do we have customer contact? We have the contact last name. We have contact first name. Yes. So now we have this. So the customer contact. So we are sure we have all of them here. But do we have other details here as well? We don't. We don't have other details. So let's assume we have other details here. There won't be any reason for us to go over to looking for it in any other table. But we come to product line, we didn't see anything on order. We come to office, we didn't see anything on order. And then that is why we continue to check, we check, but we didn't see anything. We have order code. Do we have any other table speaking to order? So we now have orders, order number. So now we have an option to choose between order details or we use order. Okay. Now remember our constraint. We have something here that we need, that is in what's it called? In customer that we need, and we also have found something in other details that we need, and we found something in order that we need. So now we need to then decide where do we want to, which of these do we want to use. From what I'm seeing here, and I want you also to see it, so I will reduce this diagram. Okay, so, and I can move things around, right? Okay, so let me move it around so that it will be better and we can all see things better. All right, let me move things around. Okay, so now we found things that we're looking for because there are details concerning the order. We can get things concerning the order from here. I mean, as much as getting the order number is something that we need about the order. So the order number is unique identifier for each of the order. So every order we have a unique order number. So, and what the finance team needed is all orders. So if we can pull it by the order number, and we also have other number here. But now we are left to decide which of these two do we want to use. Now this is where some of that's the one that has other details. We can use this, but be sure that we are just in for, we just want to trouble ourselves, because if we want to use this does not have any direct relationship with customer. You can see that when this table is selected, you no excuse me, none of the column in customer is highlighted. So that means it doesn't have any direct relationship. And in case you are minding this particular arrow, see, be sure that this arrow is not actually, did not terminate in other details. This arrow actually goes to payments. You can see that that arrow goes to payment. So if I move other details out of the way, so Now you can see clearly that that arrow does not come to it. Okay, the two arrows that comes into other details, or that the other details went out, as arrow going out of it, is the arrow to others and that to products. So this is the point I'm making. Because there is no direct relationship between this and this, so let us check if there is direct relationship between others, if there is a direct relationship between the two. So which one will you use? Relationship, because the truth of the matter is that other details have indirect relationship with customers. So others is related to other details, and other details is related to customer. So other details is indirectly related to it. So all I need to do is to get to customer. I will just go through and get to customer. So that is function of a function. So your friend, so you have a friend and you don't talk to that friend, and you have another friend that talks to that friend to help you get it from that friend. That other friend gives it to this other friend that you talk with, and then he pass it on to you. So if we're going by that, what we will have done. But why go that route since we have another table called orders? All right, perfect. So, and I've emphasized in this class why this diagram. All right, so I always emphasize how I love having to view this diagram to be sure of, especially when using joins. So this helps you. Yeah, you can actually look through the table review, look at things that, you get the columns that are in there, and you just, but come to the relationship part, so know how they're related, and by this you can know. So we already know, and our job is done. And what do I mean our job is done? We can now get all the order and then get the customer contact. So now let's go over and then write our Gen2 code. So remember our very dear select. So because we are retrieving data again. All right, so we're using the orders table, and like I did the other time, I love to view this. Okay, so we don't need you. Okay, we still need you. And okay, so we need you towards the end, but we need this man first, the others table. So we want to get first the order number and then other thing. Remember our time. So should I not? Should I not? Let me. So just to what we did the other time. So I will do long and again. I will do the long and again, and by the time I introduce the earlier, I will shorten it. All right. So what we should do. Okay, good. That reminds me. Now, the other column, the column called orders, right? The column called orders. We can as well call it order without S, that this table contain my order and won't add S to it. And this is also to add to our knowledge about naming conventions. Now, so using a keyword. Be sure you are not naming using a keyword. Now, if I use this keyword to name my column, by the time I want to use it in query, I will definitely run into an error because it will be understood. A keyword takes, and you cannot reassign a keyword that's been assigned already. So now that's why by the time you're about naming anything, maybe you're creating a column, be careful not to use a keyword in naming your column. So this other table won't have been written without an S. So, and because if we write it without an S, we are already calling a keyword order. Remember that by. Okay, that is just by the way. So we have that table name, and I said we're about to take the order number. Order number, and then we'll give those orders and the other dates. So we put all the order. So order number would have just given us all the orders, but we just want to have some more. What other thing can we take? We already have the order number, we already have the order date. We can put the order status. So in case we want to just check which so we have this table order status. Now this is reflecting as a keyword, okay, in my SQL. So we don't have any issue with that. We'll run it and see what comes up. Then we move on to the other table, which is the customer table, and we put the contact details. So the first contact we have here is the contact first name, customer. We have also the last name, and then we have the phone number, I believe, customer, your phone. So I think with this we're good, and then we can now then say from where now? From orders. So remember I will declare as O. So we can just go back, and we don't need to have, I mean, I just adopted this approach of saying, wait, so that I don't want to play a situation where I will start by saying O dot this, and you will say, where is O coming from? And that was why I had to do that, so that you see that it was actually declared as this. All right, so the same thing, we'll be joining it with the customer table, with the customer table. So customers, remember we also say this is as C, so we can just take this down. Oh, okay, so C, we can take this down and say C. I can take this down as well and say C. All right, so we have done that, but on what are we joining the two? Did we check that the other time? Yes, I think we did. We're joining it on, let's verify that with this order. So we are joining them on customer number. So customer number is what we're joining on. So we're joining on okay. So this is what we're joining on, and that is all we have to. So, in this case, we don't need to go buy, we don't need to order, because all we need is just we need a haul. All right, so we're on now. So we have all of this spelled out. Oh, okay, we've changed it. So we have all of this spelled out. We have all the other number. We have the other date, the other status, and we have the phone. Okay, yeah. So right. So with us now. Okay, the operations team is now asking us another thing. So the operations team is asking us another thing, and maybe that is what we'll be stopping tonight. What the operations teams are asking us. And please fasten your seatbelt about the question of this operations team. Okay. Yeah, why I said fasten your seatbelt is because they're asking us, even just from the hint, you will see that we are working on this, this, and this. And this was what I explained the other time about on what we're about to do now. So it says the operations team wants to know the total quantity, market total quantity. So we are looking for total quantity of each product ordered. So now it is not just anything of products ordered. So that means we're looking for products. We're looking for a table that has quantity. We're looking for a table that has products and by customers. So if we have a table that has all of this quantity, product, and customer, we are good. In a specific country, Wahoo, we need the country as well. All right. So now let's take the country. So we'll go to the country and we'll choose a particular country that we'll be using for this exercise. All right. So how would you find this information? So now let's go over. So we already know what we're looking for. We're looking for total quantity, that is quantity of product. So we're looking for what's it called, customer, and then in a specific country. Okay. So now let's go over to the table and create a new sheet, a new script. Um, okay. Now let's go to our diagram, our dearly beloved diagram. So let me put this to 70 so possibly you can see more. All right, 70 I think is good. So let me try 75. Yep. Okay. 75 is okay. All right. So remember, we need quantity, we need product, and we need customer, and we need country. All right. So now what we have here, we have customer here, and we have country. We don't have quantity. So this is a potential table, product lines. We just have product lines there. We don't have quantity. Office, possibly we don't have anything. This does not match what we need. Employee doesn't match. Order does not have what we need. Okay, product now. Product does not. So order details now. Order details have products because it has product code and it has quantity. Okay, it has quantity. So out of the 5 things, 5 or 4 now, we need product, we need quantity, we need customer, and we need country. 4. Yeah, back to the question. So we need one, we need product, two, we need customer, three, we need country, four. So we need 4 things. So out of the four, we're able to see two of it in customer table, because do we have any place that we have customer and country? We have both here, and we also have um, product and quantity here. So customer table has two, other details has two. So now it is time to now get to them. Remember what I was explaining the other time when we were looking for which of these two tables should we use to answer the second question. We have the information, the information we're looking for to support what we have in customer table was contained in both order and other details. But we said which is the easier one to use. We then opted for using we opted for using what's the name now? Orders. We opted for orders because we said orders has a direct contact. So now again, but now there is no way we can opt for order in this scenario, because what we need is not contained in order at all. So what we need is partially contained in other details. But remember, our question did not even say, it says product ordered. So we possibly don't just want to provide a product code. Yeah. We possibly don't want to provide just the product code. We want to provide the product name. And what we have in other details is product code. So we want to look for a table that has the product name. Even if we want to still provide product code, because the key thing that we're looking at here is the product. So we just want to see the product, the total product and quantity of product that is purchased over um, by a particular customer in a certain country. So the key thing we're looking for are those products. But we can product code. We will get those product out. But with the product code, the team that needed it, the operation team might now start having to do another job. By the time we send that Excel sheet that we will export, or the comma separated sheet version sheet that will file that we will export, by the time we send it to them, we are going to make them do VLOOKUP. That is, they will just pull other name from another sheet based on the other code that we have provided them. So if we can, and since we have a table called product that is also linked to other details, then we can do it. So this is what I'll do. I'll break this particular one into two. So I'll do the first one, which will just be, we will make other product code to stand for the product. So then I will now build on it to get the product name. All right. So that's what we do, so that we won't stress ourselves at the beginning, but we'll still do it. We'll still come into this table and fetch this product name. But to start with, two of what we are looking for, a product code can stand in as a unique identifier for each of the products. So, but why we needed this table is just because it has the product name, which is also good to have thing. So we have two here and we have two in customer table, and both tables are not talking to each other. So remember what I said, you order details as a friend called order, because both of them are talking. They have a relationship between them. Now, so other details will now speak to order. Please help me get these two. That is customer name and country. Let me get it um, from customer, so that my report will be complete. So let's go over and make this happen. Very short time to go. Okay, we're there ready. All right, so quickly. The first thing we want to do, so this time around, I won't, um, what's it called? I have to do the long way, so I will just go the short way. So I will use OD as for other details. So OD, uh, so I'm starting with my very dear select OD dot um product code. OD dot product product code. So that is, we need product code from other details, and we also need you know what we need is the sum of the, it says the total quantity, so that means we need sum of, excuse me, OD dot where is the other detail? Sorry, let me get to the table so that I'll see what we're looking at. All right. So product code, quantity order. Okay. OD dot quantity ordered. OD dot quantity ordered. So I can have that as total quantity. Um, so I have that as total quantity, and I believe you know where OD is coming from. All right. So I can also have the customer name to it, and I'll say customer name. Okay, customer name. I believe that the format it was written. So we're selecting this from the customer table. So customer table, and then all right. We said we want to check the country that we will be using. You know, the question said the country where we'll be using, and the country we'll be using the table that has country is a customer table. So let us see some of the countries in there. Let's quickly do that. Let's quickly do that. Select country from, remind me, let me not break my rules, from customer. So we have all of this, so we can just quickly use USA, and mind the format it is written capital letter USA. All right, so we have that. So let's say we are selecting this. That's the country we're using. USA is what we're using. So we do our inner join. Um, so what table are we joining to this? Remember from this diagram, the table that has direct communication with this is the other table. So this is the table we're joining to the customer table. All right. So and we are joining it on customer number. Okay, your customer number. So we are joining this table order. Okay, others. So let us give it and so does it need no it doesn't need any alias because we are not using anything from it. No, we are going to use something from it. So let me give it alias as O. Okay, using something from it. So and on what are we doing this? So on so remember what connect both of them is the customer number. So on this dot customer number equals O dot customer number. All right. So we have established that. So we have joined those two tables. Now that we have joined customer table with other tables, so the two tables have now become one. So by this joining, other table now have relationship with these two tables because that first expression has joined these two tables. It has joined um, customers table with other table. So with this, there is now relationship between these two tables. I mean, with these two tables are now one. So this other detail is seeing them as one now from the query we've written. So now we can now easily join this with them using the other number, which is the unique and which is the key that relates both of them. Now we'll be joining these two tables again. So it might look um, so the again will now be inner joining. So what are we adding to it now? Other details. So other details as OD. Remember we have declared it as OD already. On so what's connect both of them is the other number. So other number is what connects both of them. OD dots. Okay. Yeah. So with this, we have successfully connect both tables. But remember, our question did not stop here. It says in a particular country. All right, in a particular country. So that is the next thing we'll do. And we said for this exercise, we'll be choosing USA as that particular specific country. Okay, so we now want to declare that specific country. So we now say where. So that is a filter now. So we are filtering. Remember, good buy, order by, they are sort. So they are used to sort, but where is actually a statement used for filtering data. So remember where is contained. Country is inside the customer table. So where c.country equals, so we identify that we'll be using USA. All right, and there we go. And there we go. So if we like, I just like um let's just say um OD. So all right, if we run this, so okay, let's take this out and then wow, oh, it's no longer there. So let me just take this out. Um, and don't say okay, and then say goodbye. Oh wow. Oh, okay. It's there. Just a minute. Why is it not compatible? OD, OD. Okay, so let me do the last level. Maybe that is why, and then introduce in doing. Products. Now doing products. As P. So the relationship between them. Okay. And we need the so I can. Okay, so you've not lost anything. I think I was connecting a bit, so I'm sharing again. Let me complete this. So you now join this on OT, the product code equals 3 dot product code. Okay, so let me now join this, group this by this, and let me click this to be product name. Product name. Okay. Quantity order as this. Okay, this. Yeah, this is perfect. All right. So let's run. Okay, so let me do this. Take this out. Really, really not open. Okay. So let me do this. Um, take this out. I'll cut this. Um, product code. Hold on. Um, just a minute. Okay, I see what happened. OD. Okay. OD order number. Okay. New operation around this. Okay. Still no right. Okay, so now, so we have this, and we were able to then go all over, and what I wanted to do before was to stop to end this here. Why? Because I just want to get just the what was it called? Just the order, which I will check why that is not coming up. But I just want to get it to just we'll use the product code and we'll still get what we have to get. So instead of this being the product name, so this would be um the product code, which will still work. And why it is not taking the last argument I added, which was the what's it called, customer name? Yes, it won't, because remember, it is taking this particular product name over is summing all the occurrence of this, the quantity of this particular product. So if a customer name is added to it, so different customer actually must have purchased this item. So if you are trying to then um, have it summed up and you want to attach a customer to it won't. But let us assume we're not performing aggregate here, we're not summing here, then that will work. But because we're summing here, it won't work. So and that was why we're getting some of the errors and saying that we can't do what we were trying to do. So now let's get to explain this. We have just a minute. So we're asked to do this, get those four things: the quantity, the product, the customer, and then so why I was separating the customer from it was because it was said that purchased by customer. But remember, it is not just one customer that will purchase a particular product, and because we are doing the aggregate of it, So it won't know what name to return. It will not know what name to return because products 1917 could have been purchased by John and as well purchased by Lawal. So now, if I have to project the customer name, it will be very tough for it to do uh, in this manner. Excuse me. So now we know that to have the product name is not contained in customer table. So we needed to get it from the product table, but product and customer table does not have any relationship. So, but we do know that order table has a relationship with the customer table. So we did join those two tables. Again, order table and product table, do they have any relationship? I doubt that. Order table and product table, no, they don't. So this line you're seeing is not for order, so it just went behind it. Okay, so we have it this way. So you can see that it is order and other details that has relationship. So now, so they don't have any relationship, and that's why we couldn't get from order to the product. So, but we know that orders and other details have relationship, and that's why we're able to move from orders to other details and from other details to products. And that was how our, okay, let me put this here and bring this down. All right. So that was why, and possibly just move this here. Move this here. Yeah. Move this bit here. And this should come here. All right. So now we see who is connected to who. You see who is connected to who. Okay, we can bring this here so that we don't have anybody crossing over. And move this a bit. Yeah. This is now more even clearer. Okay. I'm happy I was able to put it this way. So we can drop this down. Oh, great. So no, okay, this is still crossing into that. We can just move it up a bit or drop this down a bit. Okay. So with this, no line is crossing each other. So we can see clearly who has connection with who. So those that has direct relationship with the customer table are just three: payments, yeah, three: payment, order, and employee. Those I have. So and what we're looking for is just along this corridor. So we were able to join this table to this. So immediately we use join. This is what happened. This is what happened. So we're joining on something. We're joining like this table now. We join it on customer number. So this table will more like be in this, and by what we are joining, so anytime this that actually matches, it adds it. So this table becomes like this. So because this table now, you can see that now um technically this table has become one, that is customer and order has become one. Now other details is now related to it by the virtue that it was related to order. So immediately we run that second level of join where we say we join orders and other details. So what we said, what we have actually done is that we have actually moved this table and we have moved it here. Don't mind that was going on there. So so these three tables have now become one up to this point. So at this point, this is the first table here. At this point, those three tables had actually become one because we have joined customer table with order table and with other details. And then the last that we did was to then join this table to it. So we now join this to it. And at this point, so we now have what's it called? We now have all the table as one table. So our select that we have actually written at the top can now work on this table as one. So the truth of the matter is SQL can only search one table. So you have to bring all those tables together for you to see it as one table. So it can only be, your query can only be run on one table. That is just the truth of the matter. But when you bring those tables together, it sees them as one. Yes, you have different tables. So you don't have to collapse the table physically. You just use your joins to actually bring them together. And we'll be talking when we do CT as well. It's a way of actually nesting. This is what we'll be calling it a day today. And I want to believe that I've not confused the whole class and that we have actually learned something today.